Good morning, it's Dr. James. Hey, I hope you're off to an awesome start today. It's fabulous to see you. Thank you for your time and thank you for your energy. And today we have something we have to work on every now and then, or in my case, every single day. And that is the motivation to continually show up each and every day with your heart out loud. Not let the darkness seep in, not let self-doubt overtake you, not allow the subtle nature of self-oppression to keep you down and keep you from shining your great big light. It's amazing because when I look at the word motivation, I look at the energy behind motivation. Because I'm a total nerd, I always want to go back to the science of what truly does illustrate and underscore and potentiate true sustainable motivation. And it's really interesting, right? Because sometimes we think about motivation like, wow, if I'm going to exercise, it's because I want to look hot, or if I'm going to eat well, I want to get lean and I want to look awesome. And if I'm going to work hard, it's because I want to have great big piles of money and I want to look cool to the world, get a cool car, get a cool house. And you know, all those things are okay, but what's really fascinating, none of those things, being hot, having a bunch of stuff, looking cool to the world, none of those things actually sustain motivation. In fact, science tells us motivation, it has nothing to do with hotness or material stuff or how we look to the world. It simply comes down to feeling good. In fact, the latest research speaks to how it is that if we want to continue with our self-care, if we want to be motivated in our work, if we want to go out in the world and really make a great big difference, the simple truth about motivation is that all of it, when it comes down to whether or not we sustain ourselves, whether we can keep ourselves going each and every day, when you say to yourself, gosh, you know what? I need to get motivated. I need to get encouraged. I need to find a way to keep my stoke on. Well, you know what? It all comes down to intrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation is simply defined as this. I know what keeps me moving, what keeps me going, what keeps me rising, keeps me working, which keeps me allowing myself to show up every single day and express the highest version of me is always something bigger than me. It has nothing to do with me. Not how I look, not how I appear to the world, but most importantly, intrinsic motivation, according to research from MIT, simply comes down to that we have a reason to get up in the morning that's bigger than us. We know that when we move our body, we know that when we work hard, we make a difference in the world. If it's all about how it shows up to the world in service, how it motivates others, how it inspires others, when we know that our space of grace of serving and living and loving and expressing our gifts and our talents always comes down to how it raises others. And if we connect our exercise or our work or anything that is to do with looking for motivation, simply connect it to something bigger than you. And studies go on to say that so often in life that we will exercise, we're going to work hard to make more money and get more stuff so we can look cool to the world or look hot to the world. That oftentimes, more times than not, leads to anxiety, it leads to depression, it leads to systemic inflammation, it leads to greater stress, it leads to all the things that we don't want. And here's what's beautiful. This beautiful way of intrinsically motivating yourself to be a force for something bigger than you always leads to something greater, and how it is that your life's work gets a chance to be wildly and wonderfully successful. So today, when you exercise, don't think about being hot. Maybe a little bit if you need to or you want to, but how your energy shows up, how your body composition gives someone else a permission to say, wow, I want that level of vitality, I want that level of energy. When you're working hard and you're accumulating wealth and abundance, see it as a source of how it can be something that encourages other human beings to say, wow, that's a possibility for me too. Look at the way they're showing up in the world. But for me, the most powerful one is bring your love out in the world and have it intrinsically motivated, not so you're noticed for being loving, you're noticed for how it is that your love lifts another human being, and they in turn want to lift another human being. Your intrinsic motivation is simply paying it forward by being intrinsically aligned with your heart and your soul's knowing. So, how about an ovation, a motivation, and an ovation for being motivated with your heart, living out loud? Much love and many blessings. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.